For cave kids. Jack and Annie crept into the cave and peeked inside. A small flame danced from the bed of glowing coals. Near the fire were knives, axes, and hollowed out stones. Animal skins were neatly stacked against the wall. People must live here, said Annie. Maybe it's the home of the Cro-Magnons we saw, Jack said, looking around. Let's go inside and get warm, said Annie. Jack and Annie moved quickly to the fire and they warmed their hands. Their shadows danced on the stone walls. Jack pulled out his Ice Age book. He found a picture of a cave and he read, Cro-Magnons made many things from animals, plants, and stone. They made flute-like musical instruments from mammoth bones. They made ropes by braiding plant fibers, and they made axes and knives from stones. Jack pulled out his notebook pencil and he started a list. Cro-Magnons made bone flutes, plant ropes, stone axes, and knives. Ta-da! Said Annie. Jack looked up at Annie. She was wearing a coat. It had a hood and long sleeves, and it went all the way down to her sneakers. Where'd you get that from? Said Jack. From the pile over there in furry skins, said Annie, pointing. These must be their clothes, she said. Maybe they're being mended. She picked up another coat and handed it to Jack. Try one, it's really warm, she said. Jack put his backpack down and towel down on the hard dirt floor. He slipped on the coat. It did feel very warm and soft. We look like cave kids, said Annie. Squeak! Peanut peeked out of Jack's pack lying on the floor. You stay there, said Annie. There's no teeny coat for you. Peanut vanished back into the pack. I wonder how they made these coats, said Jack. He turned to the pages of the book until he found a picture of the Cro-Magnon women sewing. He read, Cro-Magnons scraped reindeer skins with flint rocks that made them soft. They used bone needles to sew the skins together for clothing. Jack added to his list, reindeer skin clothes. I hope the cave people won't mind if we're borrowing their coats, said Jack. Maybe we should give them our towels, said Annie. To thank them. Good idea. And my goggles too, said Annie. They left their gifts on top of the rest of the animal skins. Let's explore the cave before we go home, said Jack. It's too dark in the back, said Annie. We won't be able to see anything. I'll find out how Cro-Magnons saw in the dark, said Jack. He opened the Ice Age book and he found a picture of cave people holding odd-looking lamps. He read out loud to Annie. Cro-Magnons made stone lamps. They hollowed out a rock, filled it with animal fat, and then burned a wick made from moss. There, said Annie, and she pointed to 2 stones near the fire. In the hollow of each was a gooey white stuff and a pile of moss. We have to be careful, said Jack. He picked up one stone. It was smaller than a soup bowl, but much heavier. Jack held the stone close to the fire and lit the piece of moss. He lit another lamp and he gave it to Annie. Carry it with 2 hands, said Jack. I know, she said. Jack tucked the book under his arm, and he and Annie carried their stone lamps to the back of the cave. Hey, I wonder where this goes, said Annie. She held her lamp up to the opening in the wall. I'll check the book, said Jack. He put down the lamp and flipped through the Ice Age book. I think it's a tunnel, she said. Be right back. Wait a second, said Jack. Too late. She had squeezed through the opening and she was gone. Oh, brother, said Jack, sighing. He closed the book and peeked inside the opening. Come back here, he said. No, you come here, said Annie. Her voice sounded far away. You won't believe this. Jack picked up his lamp and the book, and he ducked into the small tunnel. Crouching down, he hurried towards her, and at the end of the tunnel was a huge cavern with a high ceiling. Annie held her lamp close to the wall. "Look," she said. Her voice echoed. Animals were painted on the wall in strokes of red and black and yellow. There were cave bears and lions, elk, reindeer, bison, woolly rhinos, and mammoths. In the flickering light, the prehistoric beasts looked alive.